to face the buggers alone.
The heat and the drink are getting the better of me. Gosh, above my sleepy. Don't tell me you're afraid. You should have enough liquid courage in your system by now that you're ready to face an army. Pass the bottle, would you, Junius? My throat's dry.
Again, this is a single malt, imported all the way from Hawkesbury, you know. It ain't the local pig swill they sell for ale.
Single malt, my stubbly arse. You've been had by one of them smooth-talking salesmen again. Come, give here before I sober up. What the hell is happening down there? Orcs? Bloody orcs? Come, let's go back to the reg, where the source hunters handle their big roots.
Summon Spider! Stand down before I put you down!
Chaos grips my hands today.
Did you see that? Those orcs had a human commander.
How very curious and how very disquieting.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
I needed that.
If I don't start earning an extra gold piece now, I'll walk out the door.
Good on you. These boss men respect companies. So what do they say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day. Hail, Source Hunter! Why, I don't think I could ask for a more welcome sight on these cursed beaches. The Legion welcomes you. I'm not so different from any other soldier you'll meet around these parts. We've all lost more comrades here in Cyseal than most do in an entire military career. Beats me what traitorous madness came over that dog. A man among orcs! It'd be like one of your kind running with a sorcerer. Whatever the cur's incentive to raise swords alongside that murderous lot, let's all hope it was a private grudge. Can you imagine if we had to add a slew of wild-eyed, orc-loving bedlamites to hits these orcs? Now that they have bees in their bonnets about that rat-faced shaman of theirs even went to the trouble of launching a fireball at a ship in the harbor to the west of here. They may need help. I'd go myself, but we legionnaires are under strict orders never to abandon our posts. Never know. Hail, Source Hunter! Why, I don't think I could ask for a more welcome sight on these cursed beaches. The Legion welcomes you.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
taken before his time.
One day,
Far
comrade,
before
vengeance
his
will
time.
be ours.
I've spotted something interesting.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
I like you much better with your guts on the floor.
What's all this ruckus? Sounded worse than a dozen tomcats fighting over the world's last mackerel. Ah, but I see we've suffered another orc landing. And judging by the relative ease with which it was dispatched, I can only come to one conclusion. You're as welcome as a glass of cooled milk on a hot day, my friend. I'm Ahu, at your service. It was I who requested your presence in this troubled city. So you were, and so you weren't. There we are. Meet my other half, Hunter. Ha! No need to look so flabbergasted. I may be a wizard rife with tricks and guile, but I assure you. So, now that the cat is out of the bag, let us turn to the matter of Councillor Jake's murder.
Girlfriend here is like bringing a wolf to
It's hard to put my finger on it, but I can feel in my very whiskers that sorcery was at play. Visit the scene of the crime, and I'd bet sardines for salad you'll say the same.
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out that door.
Good on you. These boss men...
Captain Aureus, though, the local commander of the Legion, insists I'm seeing ghosts. I insist he's blind to all but the undead. So there are, or rather, there is. Popular opinion has it his wife did the deed, but to be frank, I have my doubts. She seems a likely candidate, to be sure, but that would make her a sorceress. Esmeralda knows how to charm, yes, but I just don't see her magic. Still, don't simply take my word for it, Hunter. It may be well worth your while to cross-examine her yourself. The Legion has her under guard in her shop near the town square. That's where you'll find Jake was murdered in a downstairs room of the King Crab Inn, up in Cyseal proper. The Legion keeps it under lock and key, though, so you'll need Aureus's permission should you want to have a peek.
So what they say?
Well, what does it matter?
A human, you say? Truly? But that would be like a kitten leading a wolf pack. And yet, I have heard rumors about a sect of sorts. A shadowy set of worshippers that associate even with orcs. Some say they're sorcerers, but people will say that about anyone who behaves a bit. I don't quite know what to make of this news, but thank you for informing me. It'd be foolish to dismiss such a curious event out of hand. Unfortunately, that is absolutely correct. The orc siege is yet another hairball stuck in this city's already choking throat, and it shows no signs of abating. We've cordoned off the western beach where most orc activity has been reported. For the 9 lives of me, I can't seem to figure what they're doing here. There's nothing of interest along the waterfront, except for a set of caves with an unfavorable reputation. Maybe they're after some pirate's treasure, the fools. Ah, the undead. They've been clawing their way out of the ground for 2 years now. And for 2 years the stalemate between them and the living has been dragging on at a weary pace indeed. The Legion did a good job keeping them at bay, but I think it's fair to say that without my magic-infused ballistae, they'd have gotten the better of us by now. Someone is responsible for the outbreak. Necromancers are at work, but who are they and where do they hide? Alas, that searching for them is like searching for a single louse in a lion's mane. Oh, but that's not a trick. It's a blessing. Or does it surprise you that I enjoy such magic is a gift, Hunter? To tread upon the realm of instinct, even articulate speech, perhaps to be out in the night, to stalk on silent paws and hunt with only the moon as your witness. But of course it's handy to speak in more than meows. And I couldn't brew potions or make machines without opposable thumbs. This I freely admit. I'm glad we've met, Source Hunter. And I'm certain we have a lot more to talk about. Feel free to visit me whenever you want. I've set up a workshop in the Legion's headquarters. Once you're there, just take the stairs. But do pay a visit to Aureus first. He may bark like a beagle with its tail stuck in the door, but you won't get very far in your investigation without speaking to the de facto leader of Cyseal. And with that, I bid you adieu, Hunter. Adieu and good luck. May your enemies prove to be mere...
Sex, undead, orcs. Looks like we have our work cut out for us.
At least we won't be bored. How about we go and see that Aureus chap Arhu mentioned?
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
An orc in love. Ha! When this little scout fails to liberate the flesh from our faces.
Enough human doing. Cast the gaze of sin upon my dear silent death.
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece now, I'll walk out the door.
Good on you. These boss men respect company. So what do they say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
What fool would trust a two-bit love potion out of a back-page circular from youthful gore?
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece now, I'll walk out the door.
Good on you. These boss men respect company.
One day, comrade.
So what do they say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
Avert your gaze, and I'll handle this threat for all our sakes.
Save that ship all by your lonesome. quite the feat. If I had the magic touch about me, I'd have thought the old gal's fate was sealed when the orc shaman set his fiery gaze on her sails. But you managed to rescue her from a war.
Save that ship all by your lonesome. Quite the feat. If I had the magic touch.
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't
Save that ship all by your lonesome. Quite the feat. If I had the magic touch about me, I'd have lent you my hand too. So what did he say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
Cyseal, shiver me timbers and sliver me heels. Steady, boys, steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're
I
packed up.
said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out that door.
Good on you. These boss men respect confidence, you know. So what did he say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
And don't forget the time you got caught passing a love note to the council's wife.
Is that why we never say that you're the door anymore?
Speaking of you, Phil, that Luke Legion
Really?
thinks
The
that
greatest
Legion
warriors in
loves him.
Rivellon can't cross a road?
In all week, 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Ben's carriage for the joyride?
No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Gore anymore?
Speaking of you, Fulgur, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an all win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Gore anymore?
Speaking of you, Fulgur, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an all win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the
Cyseal, shiver me timbers and sliver me heels.
Speaking of you, Fulgur, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an all win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sailed the Gore anymore?
Speaking of you, Fulgur, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an all win 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever hear about the time the captain took the Duchess of Federal's carriage for the joyride?
Our home, our livelihood, all sunk in a matter of minutes while we could do nothing but look on. Well, we were merchants what seems like a moment ago. With our ships sunk, We're little more than 3. These damn orcs. They can't keep off this place for the life of them. They came in here slinging fireballs and swinging swords. Wasn't a thing we... That was a right stunning show of magic you pulled, it was. Wish you'd have been around when our own barge went down in... With our ship gone, nothing for it but to get a job. Slim pickings around here, that's for sure. Maybe you can keep an eye out, though.
Have you found us a job yet? We'll take anything. Really.
Have you found us a job yet? We'll take any...
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Shores? Here? In Cyseal? Bah! Of all the cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses... Who knows if it's even over for sure? Those damn orcs keep sending... That was some fast acting there. Ever heard about...
Sauce? Here in Cyseal.
Ever heard about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feddle's carriage for the joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing...
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Cyseal? Name's Conrad. Cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across Andervale know to give all... Those orcs must be out of their barbarous minds launching an attack on a city where a great wizard... I'll tell you, the only time I'd consider waging a suicide campaign like that would be if whatever I sought was something worth dying over.
He got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Youthful Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever heard about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feddle's carriage for the joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Youthful Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever heard about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feddle's carriage for the joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Youthful Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that loopy legionnaire really thinks that orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever heard about the time the captain took the Duchess of Feddle's carriage for the joyride?
Ha! No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
Oh, and don't forget the time he got caught passing a love note to the lizard councillor's wife.
Is that why we never sail to Youthful Gore anymore?
Shores? Here? In Cyseal? He really thinks that orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let an orc within 500 yards of my loving nature.
Psst! Ever heard about the time the captain...
Yes, honest man for an honest day.
Steady, boys, steady. We'll be leaving as soon as we're packed up.
like you much better with your guts on the floor.
One day, comrade, vengeance will be ours.
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece from now, I'll walk out.
Slimy, reeking,
Cyseal, shiver me timbers and sliver. That's enough of that now.
That's enough of that now.
reeking, rotting sea garbage. Source hunter. I thought you lot had burned the left.
I said to him, I said myself, if I don't start earning an extra gold piece an hour, I'll walk out that door.
Good on you. These boss men respect company. So what did he say?
Well, what does it matter? Day labour's more suited to my nature anyhow.
Yes, honest pay for an honest day.
plenty of fish in the sea, but I've got the foulest of the lot on my hands.
It is elsewhere.
Well, a source hunter. A very hearty welcome to our humble warehouse. Have a look around, and don't mind if I pick your brain. I tell you, this gig sure beats getting my toes bitten off by zombies out in the field. We warehouse guards don't have to do much apart from stroll the perimeter a few times an hour. And of course, every now and again, some friendly folks, like yourself, will wander through here. And nothing beats a pleasant conversation. Though, Mike, have you talked to him? Thinks every man, woman and child who steps foot in this place wants to rob it blind. If I so much as greet a townsperson with a hello instead of a state your purpose, he starts frothing on and on about godly duty and security breaches. This Jake business is quite the scandal, no? I myself suspect his wife, Esmeralda, and the butcher seconds that, let me tell you. Then again, and you didn't hear this from me, he's going through quite the nasty divorce himself, and there's his children to consider. But I imagine his youngest, Kimberly, won't mind. Never did get on well with her mother ever since the incident. Oh, it's an unparalleled pleasure having a fresh ear around here.
Keep your pleasantries to yourself. What are you doing inside this warehouse? If it's conversation you're looking for, I'd recommend my comrade Florence. As for myself, my job is to protect this warehouse, not that idiot man-child would sooner spend an hour chatting up a thief than a minute arresting him. I only hope he gets transferred out of this warehouse and straight to the... Even thinking of him turns one into a gabbing hen. Please, leave me be.
Salutations! Source hunters, I see. I'm Sergeant Curtius, proud protector of this house of Legion goods. This is a storing house for Legion supplies. Perhaps the most important building in the realm, by my and others' estimation. And Curtius is my name. The Legion is my calling.
Well, a source hunter. About time the council took us seriously. Maybe you can start with the two idiots hiding their pet orc here.
Two-bit love potion out of a back-page circular from youthful gore. Ah, who better than a proven orc crusher to convince my dumbbell of a friend here that orc...
Enough of that. I know how dangerous an orc can be, but this one has been reformed. Anyone can see that she's completely docile. But my friend here and I were patrolling outside the city walls, when who did I see creeping along the shore but this lovely orcish lady? Perhaps confused by the butterflies in her stomach, she sprang up and began running, claws bared towards Marius. Fortunately for him, I had the presence of mind to ignore my sword. A vial of love potion shattered over her head, and when she turned to face me, I'm sure she must have been compelled to join the orcish army under some kind of duress. A lady with such a sweetly savage manner would never...
I can assure you there wasn't a hint of sweetness in those murderous eyes when she lunged at my throat. She may be confined here for now, but who's... Maybe before the great orc raid we had time to indulge Ninius's idiotic obsessions. But now we're needed at our posts. I can hardly believe I've been wasting time protecting an orc when I should...
Excuse my friend's violent outbursts. He hasn't enjoyed a woman's touch in quite some time now.
Your woman's touch is less of a loving caress and more of a claw shanked brutally through the throat. You see, he'd believe it was noon at midnight if he read it on a printed pamphlet. Please tell me you can reason with him, or ditch reason and use your sword to shave him from his murderous darling.
She's got to be put down. If this love potion is as dodgy as it sounds, she could come to her vicious senses at any time.
What's the point in causing more pain in this beleaguered city? Question her and see what comes of it.
You must realise that if this orc gets loose in the city, we're the ones who'll have to put her down and deal with the bloody aftermath.
Good on you. Lead bossmen respectful. So what do you think? Well, what does it matter?
Think of the intel this creature could provide. And if she begins to revert, these men are armed and will be able to subdue her.
This place reeks of orc stench. This place reeks of orc stench.
No, we'll do as I say.
Glad to hear I'm not the only one with common sense around here. I'll do the honors myself.
No! She's harmless! Please! You bastard! You had no right!
No right to protect not only you from your own stupidity, but myself and the citizens of Cyseal as well.
It's you we need protection from, murderer. Fortunately, the wizards of youthful gore make a revenge elixir that will show you what's what.
Go ahead and throw your sugar water on me if you like. Your foolishness is no longer my problem. Thank you, stranger. If you ever need help, I'll do my best to repay you.
Stench. Thank you for talking some sense into that knucklehead. That...
I should have done this from the very start.
Source Hunter's here too. Well, if the Legion...
You're a source hunter, aren't you? They say you can talk to any...
I wouldn't venture too far out of town if I were you. Many legionnaires did so before you. Very few have...
I found something.
The earth here seems to have been freshly fertilized and aerated. Obviously, someone has taken great care to maintain this gravesite.
We and our shovels will do as we please.
We most certainly will not. We'll respect this gravesite by leaving it be.
Come now. I bet a thrilling mystery awaits us inside.
We've no reason to believe there's anything worthwhile buried here, so why bother digging?
We'll do it your way.
You step away from the grave.
I give milk. I give wool. And what do I get in return? One way or another, they always try to...
Moo! Don't disturb Master Theliron now. He's been so busy with his research, the poor dear hasn't had a...
But if one were to reduce the quantity of skull dust by a percentage of 2...
Oh, a source hunter. Imagine that. Quite a bit more petite than the last of your kind I encountered, aren't you? Yes, but no matter. Even if it couldn't spare its heartiest specimen, I'm sure the Order sent the individual with the next highest probability of success. Yeah? Me? Why, I'm more than a little surprised you haven't heard of me. Perhaps I can jog you. It was I who cured the Duchess of Arata of her unslakable thirst. A simple pinch of Atropa belladonna in her morning tea. I who discovered that aging, not to mention that it's been my guidance that has permitted my apprentice Evelyn to make quite a name for herself around Cyseal of late. Yes. If that's how we're referring to the secretive use of a revolutionary healing method, she refuses to share with her own master. She's in the other room as we speak. Perhaps you can prevail upon her to offer a demonstration. She's gotten hold of a stone, supposedly capable of fantastic feats of healing, but she won't let me take the briefest look at it. But she claims to have gotten the relic from a little northern town, Silverglen by name, and that an abbot there blessed it with the utter rubbish, I say. But with these blasted undead haunting the travel routes, I can hardly march up to Silverglen to learn the truth myself. Well, she certainly possesses a critical eye and an exacting manner when it comes to making difficult medical decisions. I expect she'll be a very successful healer in her own right when the time comes. She is learning from the best, after all. Sorry, but there isn't much work for sailors in a house of medicine. Unless one of them happens to have a secret stash. Certainly, what would you like to know? The counsellor. Terrible loss, that. Though we were hardly more than acquaintances, I knew him to be a devoted civil servant. From what I can tell, it seems to be a simple case of jealousy turned violent. The affairs of his wife, Esmeralda, well, I've applied myself to that problem for 2 years and still haven't come a step closer to solving it. I declare it an act of the Almighty's, if I believed in such things. Some events, Source Hunter, can be neither...
Healing stone. Interesting indeed.
Sets me on edge like inexplicable magic.
So, which
Which of you is more deserving of life? Excuse me? This is a private sick room. Who in the name of the Sevens you think you are barging in here? Out, I say! Right this... I'm sorry. It's this task. I'm just... Who am I to meddle with life and death this way? I'm an apprentice of the healing arts. Healing! But this decision feels like precisely the opposite. I have but one healing stone, you see. I've been racking my brain trying to decide on the best method to settle this grave situation. But perhaps it's better off in the hands of an esteemed source hunter. Surely you are more accustomed. What would you like to know? One of the brave few willing to traverse the trade routes plagued by the undead. A young man, but excellent in matters of business, before he fell victim to an orcish club. Thankfully for him, a cattle trader found him, nearly dead, but not quite so, and brought him here straight away. Quite the venerable staple of Cyseal, Stephen, and recently blessed with his third grandchild. He was leading a crew of builders when a stray beam struck him in the temple, and only a few days shy of his last day of work before nearly everyone in Cyseal is familiar with grinning Stephen. And, as you can imagine, he's quite dear to his family. Yes, a curious relic indeed. I got it from a kindly abbot, Loic by name, in the northern town of Silver Glen. He is of a certain faith, the Immaculates, they call themselves, that espousing. I myself was nothing if not skeptical of his claims, but something happened as he handed me the stone. A small cut on my finger instantly healed. But it's strange. The stone is only good for a single use at a time before it reverts to a useless, inert state. It takes time to regain its magical properties, and I... You are? I thank you a million times for your help.
Boris's life has just begun. We can't cut it short now. He should receive...
Yes, Boris deserves to experience all the pleasures...
Boris it is? Yes, I'll deliver the stone. I'm glad we'll get to... No, this is highly abnormal. What is this? It's lightning.
What I did to deserve it.
What happened? Is this a dream?
I don't think so. That stone, somehow it sent us flying into the stars.
Terrible, terrible! It will combine a quill that lasts a billion words. What's this? 2 Rivalonians here? At the end of space and time? How very, very, very curious! Oh, yes, proper introductions. Zigzags the historian at your service. It is my job to record all that was. As for how I got here, well, for a historian appointed by the gods themselves, hopping to the end of time is as easy. How you got here, though? That's a rather more interesting question. On such a tiny and rapidly shrinking vestige of space and time, I wouldn't have expected to find a soul but my own shadow. At last a question I can answer most definitively. I mentioned already that this place is the end of time. If that didn't send your heart into your stomach and your pulse of time ought naturally to have no end at all. Indeed, I can think of no worse nightmare for a chronicler such as myself. But something totally show, don't tell, I always say. So go, peer through yonder looking lens and feast your soon-to-be terrified.
Maybe quite mad.
You looked. You saw. Terrifying, isn't... What's this? The portal. It's... The portal has become active. Fantastic. Astounding. Onward we should go. The portal! It's quite sprung to life, just like the long dormant flames that decorate this observatory. You, dear stranger, you must be the key. Something about your presence here is causing the end of time to grow. The true end itself to move. Those torches, a light! This portal active once more. It cannot be coincidence. Goodness me, how right you are. There's so much to take in, I'd nearly forgotten. And what you saw has been haunting my mind. It is the void itself. The dragon that is devouring creation. When I speak of the end of time, I can't say for sure where it came from, how or why, but I do know this. It's shrinking our future by the second. And if we don't stop it, it will devour the past and present as well. It's not that I believe, it's that I have seen. Long have I been waiting here, hoping that one day this very portal would ignite. Then, no longer than a few mere moments after you arrive, zap it goes. The chronicler of time knows a pattern when he's... though I cannot say for certain. If it is what I believe, then our prayers might well be... In fact, every last question that ever plagues your noggin might well be answered. For I believe what lies beyond this portal is nothing other than... But why spoil the mystery? As soon as we leap through, we'll find out for certain. After you, after you. Oh, what wonders we may find on the other side. Yes, just as I hoped. There she is. There it is. Come, don't delay.
And he's off.
It seems the infamous